Bienvenidos a este programa. That means, boys and girls and all the people out there, we are doing another team from South America. Welcome to the ISB show. I'm your host, Sahil, here with Rahi and Roy. Let's get into it, boys. We've talked about Peru last week. We talk about Argentina all the time because of Roycito over here. So it's only fair. It is only fair we talk about a team that we all love. But we have Uruguay.
Roy, sing with me. Soy celeste, soy celeste, soy celeste.
The higher pitch. I can't.
Celeste soy yo.
Beautiful.
There we go.
Beautiful.
What a rendition. What a rendition. Before we get into sort of where the team is at, let's just talk about this team as a whole. Rahi, we have actually been huge fans of the Uruguayan national team for a long time, back to the days of Diego Forlan and even a little bit before that, correct?
Correct. I might be one of the biggest non-Uruguayan fans of this team, aside from Antoine Griezmann. Antoine Griezmann. He might be the biggest fan of Uruguay, a Frenchman, of course, who's famously loves mate, loves Uruguay. I have been to Montevideo, Roy, beautiful city.
I know.
It's an incredible footballing nation, an incredible country for the size of the population, and the success they've had is incredible. And the players they have produced, incredible. But Roy, more than anything else, for me, it's the fight. It's the spirit. It's the way they put everything on the line every time they're on the field. It's honestly incredible to watch. I fell in love with this team many times. Of course, the most wonderful run for me was that 2010 World Cup. Diego Forlan.
Oh my God. What a player.
Did things I haven't seen a player do alone, single-handedly in a World Cup. Of course, that was also the emergence of one pistolero, Mr. Luisito Suarez. What a team, though. I love this team.
And of course, his partner in crime, Edinson Cavani, coming onto the scene, probably forming the best Batman and Robin, duo, probably Striker duo of, arguably, we can say of all time. Maybe it's a debate we can make, but that's high up there.
1-2 combination. I don't know, Roy. That's hard.
Yeah, that's going to be hard to beat. It's pretty unbelievable how many phenomenal strikers Uruguay is able to produce just consistently over the years. I mean, now we got Darwin Nunez, which is a little bit questionable, but
don't forget the defenders. I mean, they produce defender after defender as well. And we can go down that list too, of course, right?
That's what they're known for, Rocky. They're known for their defensive prowess. They've always been known for that. But more than anything, they're known for their warrior mentality, la garra charrua. This is a team that from a young age, every single player has that identity. This is the beautiful thing about Uruguay. There's something in Uruguay called baby football, which is, I don't know if we call it a program, I guess so, but it's essentially, in terms of per capita, there's more people playing soccer per capita in Uruguay than most other nations in the world. And it's because of this baby football thing where players across the country are playing at a very serious level. None of this U.S. soccer, AYSO, have fun, bring snacks. No, it's very serious, whether it's on a dirt patch or concrete. They're playing these games, but in their minds, they know what they're striving towards. They know who they're trying to emulate. They know the mentality required. They know the playing style. They know the personality style required. And that's why over the decades, this is a team. Yes, identity and tactics have shifted slightly, but overall, what do we think of when we think of Uruguay? La garra charrua. We think of the warrior mentality. We think of players who are relentless, intense, tireless, and that's spanned since the 30s.
Yeah, I mean, Rahi mentioned some of those names, like Diego Godin. Don't forget Diego Lugano. There was, that both Diegos in the back, and then just some warriors in the back, right?
Martin Cáceres. Yeah, I mean, it's a team full of incredible defenders, incredible strikers. And now, in this current era, they've developed more than I think at many times in the past, really creative midfielders, really creative, silky, smooth players. Of course, Fede Valverde. I mean, there are players now in this team that are bringing a different element, Roy. We used to remember those teams earlier where they would just play effectively all defensive midfielders, right? Purely defensive midfielders in the center. And then, of course, when Forlan was there, or afterwards when it was just Suarez and Cavani, they would rely on the forwards to do some of that midfield work. But now the team is different. You have some silky players there in the middle as well.
Yeah, we remember the Russo Perez. That was like the sort of, the old school
Arevalo Rios,
Uruguayan. Yeah. But that things have changed a little bit. Okay, so let's talk about this. We're heading into World Cup qualifiers right next month, and let's talk about the current state of the Uruguayan national team, because things started off very well. They beat Roycito's team, Argentina, which no one had done. That was a huge victory for Uruguay, and it seemed like all is good in Uruguay. But then a little certain Mr. Luis Suarez, Mr. Pistolero, talked about Marcelo Bielsa, the new Uruguayan coach, and he said something to the effect of, "Boys, who wants to explain this? I think, who wants to talk about what he said?" He basically, in a kind way, said, "Bielsa ball is not good." That's what he's saying.
He said the guy won't smile at me. He won't say hi to me. He won't give me a hug. But here's the issue, Roy. I am a little worried about this team because, yes, they sit still second place in qualifiers. But hey, when you dig into that, they're only 2 points clear of the fifth place team, Brazil. And that's not a big window. And by the way, they lost to Peru. And Roy, as a Peruvian, you know that right now, if you lose to Peru, that is not a good sign, man.
That's a sign of things are going terribly wrong in the locker room. Things are going terribly wrong in the national team, because Peru is the worst version of Peru that I would say they've ever been. They're disastrous. They're so easy to beat. They're mistake prone. And Uruguay, a superpower of the world, lost to them. They got blanked. It was a clean sheet, 1-0. And if you look at recent results, guys, listen, Bielsa's game is known for the intensity. It's known for being high-octane attacking soccer. It's why he was brought to England. It's why he's loved around the world and appreciated, at least in the past. But this high-octane attacking soccer has not been seen in a long time. They tied Venezuela 0-0. They tied Paraguay 0-0. They lost to Peru 1-0. They tied Ecuador 0-0. These are terrible, terrible results.
Yeah.
Where the high octane attacking football is non-existent. And look at the players on that roster, guys. Look at the players they have who could produce beautiful soccer, and these are the results they're getting.
Yeah.
What the heck is going on besides the Colombia?
Yeah, you take the Colombia game out of it, right? Which was is a crazy game, and most of the couple goals happened in the last minute and all. It was kind of a wild game, but you take that game out of it, and Uruguay, right, has not produced some good results, like starting from the end of last year onwards.
Yeah, and when Suarez said what he said, you start to see there's real concerns, because Bielsa, for all his tactical genius and what he brings to teams, he does have an expiration date. At a certain point, teams can't take the intensity that he brings, because he doesn't really foster a culture of enthusiasm, of fun, and it can wear on players, especially when they're coming, Roy, for this national team break. They're coming home. They're coming to be with people they like, right? Oftentimes you see the joy to be around Uruguayans again, and he takes some of that away because of the intensity. Look, he's a tactical genius, and he's wedded to a system, but sometimes he's not the most pragmatic. And personally, I'm not a fan of people who take this kind of intense, I'm not going to talk to the players, it's a divide. You take that too far, Roy. When results start to fall apart, they can really turn on you. And it's bad when a player as influential, as important as Suarez is turning on the manager. Of course, he's retired, but still.
But, Rocky, I don't think... This is my struggle with this team and with Bielsa right now with this team. I don't think it's a tactics problem with this team. I think Bielsa's tactics are good tactics, and they do align with the identity of this team. Maybe not so much the attacking relentlessness. This team is used to being more compact, more disciplined, things like that. But it's a beautiful fusion of styles. But the problem with this team, as Suarez noted and Cáceres noted, is the culture. He is bringing a culture to this locker room that feels toxic, is completely misaligned to the culture of Uruguay, to the national team, to what these players expect. They love being with each other. They love being sociable. He's not allowing this. It's a cold, sterile environment, and that's going to impact buy-in with the coach. It's going to impact performance, motivation, and there's almost going to be a protest of sorts from the players. If more players are feeling this way, they're going to protest through bad performances, whether they do it consciously or not. So
Yeah.
I think that's what we're seeing with this team, guys.
It's true. It just talks about like, not letting players play cards and like stuff like that, or, strange stuff. And then you even have, okay, fine, Suarez is retired, but you have people like Valverde, who's, one of the main players now for the team, if not the main player. And he is said what Luis said is correct.
Yeah.
So it's not a good situation to be in. We'll have to see, what happens with the Uruguayan national team. Real quick, we'll finish here, guys. Do you guys think that do you think they get through, right? Both of you agree that they do get through, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they're too talented not to.
Yeah. But the question is Bielsa the right man for the job moving forward when they do get to the World Cup?
It depends.
Yes, no? Yeah.
Does he change? In his current form, no. Look, I long for the days of Maestro Tavares because he had the highest of highs. And yes, towards the end, he maybe didn't get great results. But think about how long he was there. Think about how loved he was, Roy.
Yeah.
I don't see this continuing very well with Bielsa unless he changes his ways, Roy.
All right, Rahi, it's a no, Roy.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of him being humble, him putting his ego aside and saying, you know what? I tried to bring a more serious culture. I tried to bring a more focused culture with no distractions. 100% of focus is on the soccer and improving and understanding the tactics, but it hasn't worked. I need to adjust. If he has that mentality, then I think the team's going to do well if he could get them back on board with him. But that's hard in this world, man. These players have egos. These players are superstars. These players are prima donnas. Sometimes you can't.
It's hard. You're coming from places like Real Madrid and coming back and being like, what do I have to listen to him? But, such is the way of the world. So all you fans out there, let us know your thoughts. Do you think that Bielsa ball is failing? Do you think Bielsa is the right man for the job for Uruguay? Do you think this is the right approach? Or do you let the players just, be friendly, enjoy, play cards? Let us all know. But we'll catch you all next time. As always, keep watching the beautiful game.
I want to see him do a TikTok dance.
Me?
No, Bielsa, man.
Oh, okay.